I'm the clapper loader. Without me, there are no films. So, I first want to thank all of the new subscribers and listeners. And even if you don't subscribe and you're listening, I'm happy. Thank you. Welcome. I also want to welcome back my buddy TS. You know you're out there. Thank you for listening. This is about Venom, Let There Be Carnage, which is a movie that people are divided about. I don't understand. If you liked Venom, you will like this one. If you didn't like Venom, you won't like this one. No need to be divided. I liked Venom, and I liked this one. It is definitely 80s or probably mid-90s driven in its execution on screen. There's stuff that doesn't make sense. There are plot holes. Don't want to get into them. There are characters that show up that you really don't know much about, unless you've read the comics, of course, which I'm not a comic book fan. I'm a comic book film fan. So that explains that. I had no idea that Naomie Harris was in this movie. I had no idea. I thought, when I saw the trailer, which I think I've only seen once or twice, because I didn't need a trailer to tell me whether or not I was going to go back and see this one. I knew I was going. So when I saw this screaming woman on the trailer, I thought it was some new actress they plucked out of, some lineup of actresses and given her a shot. But no, we have the stylings of many a British actor in this movie. We know that Tom Hardy's British. We know that Naomie Harris is British. We know that, Woody Harrelson is not British. I know Woody Harrelson because he's from a state that I used to live in. And then we have the director, Andy Serkis. Now, if you don't know Andy Serkis as a director, you definitely know him as an actor. He is in... God, what is he not in? He played Gollum in the Lord of the Rings series. And he played... I can't think of the character's name, but the bad guy. I'm doing air quotes. The bad guy in Black Panther. So if you know Black Panther, then you know there were two bad guys. There was Michael B. Jordan's character, and then there was Andy Serkis' character. Andy Serkis' character was missing an part of his arm. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So now that you're familiar with Andy Serkis, you will realize this is kind of, I would say, a UK production. I'm not sure of the backgrounds of any of the other actors, but definitely most of the main cast and the director himself is British. So I'm guessing the reason why I feel that some of the jokes were off color or a little too on the nose sometimes, it's because there's just a different type of humor culturally. In the British people's eye, certain things are funny. Americans think other things are funny. So some of the humor didn't translate, which is fine. I can overlook that. But people are complaining like, this movie, they sound like donkeys. Hee-haw. I liked it, but then again, I didn't. I was like, what is the hee-hawing about? Come on, guys. I think Marvel and the MCU has replaced soap operas or telenovelas. Speaking of telenovela, there's kind of funny one in there. But anyhow, I think the MCU has replaced soap operas. And what I mean by that is in the 50s and the 60s, we had, I believe also in the 40s, we had the weekly serials where they had the little black and white movies, and the people would go every Saturday to see the next chapter in the series of the particular character of the film. Coming up into the 50s, 60s, and 70s, 80s, and 90s, we had, network TV couldn't put enough soap operas on. We had daytime soap operas. We had nighttime soap operas. We even had one that was like from nighttime. What was it? Port Charles. It was like after the news came on, and at night we had Port Charles. We had, all of the soap opera stuff, all the story stuff, all the storytelling. Well, now the soap operas are gone. A lot of really good TV shows are gone. Story-driven things. So when the MCU kind of kicked in for everybody, it was another soap opera time because you went from one character to the other character, and now their worlds are colliding, and when you get to see these two characters together, and then, oh my God, the Avengers. You get to see those characters together, and then when you get to see those characters, Spider-Man, and he's going to be part of we just put them all in the same house. And we're used to that. We're not used to your throwback 90s comic book popcorn movie. Not necessarily a standalone, but definitely not really connected to anything else as far as the film is concerned, not the comic books. Of course, the comic books are connected because they're all Marvel. Spider-Man is Marvel. Venom is Marvel. The MCU is Marvel. But in the Venom film, the Venom films are about Venom. So we're not used to that. So when I see these donkey yeah, I liked it, but it's not gonna go on. All the complaining about Venom. I don't understand it because it delivers exactly what it should deliver. Now, I think they're trying to tweak it a bit to throw it into the MCU with Spider-Man and all that stuff. So we'll see. I'm kind of not happy about that because I think that there's a place for characters not to be in a collected environment with every other character. I think this is why, although I don't understand how the Justice League didn't work, because back in the 70s at 8 a.m. on ABC, at least in my time zone, I was watching the Super Friends. The Super Friends were not Marvel. The Marvel animation back in the 70s and 80s was nearly non-existent. It was DC. It was Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, all of them. You did have some incarnations of Spider-Man. You had the 60s Spider-Man, which I did in reruns eventually adore. And then you had Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends in the early 80s. So yeah, that was it. There was no really good Thor cartoon back in the day. There was no really good, Iron Man. The Iron Man, the one that was good was 90s. So yeah, but back in I know they had some Iron Man, I believe, back in the 60s. But it's not something that we even talk about today. So I don't understand what happened with Justice League. I went off on that tangent because it should have been great without having to be redone by Zack Snyder. It should have been, it could have been a contender. It should have been a contender. Anyhow, back to Venom. While not a masterpiece, Venom is going to be one of those movies I'm probably going to watch a lot. I'm going to be watching it whenever it pops up on cable. For sure. I'll be watching it. I don't even know if it's going to go to HBO Max. I guess it would. But wherever it shows up, I'm sure I'm going to just... If it's on, I'm going to watch it. So, just enjoy Venom for Venom. Don't, in your mind, when you're watching Venom, try to go, but where does he fit in the MCU? Don't do that. Because you're going to frustrate yourself because you're not in charge of where Venom fits in the MCU. Your job is to go in and have a good time. And I think that Venom delivers. Venom delivers. Venom with Naomie Harris, Tom Hardy, and Woody Harrelson. I'm trying to think of any other actors that I recognize. I guess it's just those three. Michelle Williams. And yeah, those four. There's so many plot holes, weirdo things happen, just random meetups, so many random things happen. You can't help but go, oh, okay, that happened. Oh, okay, well, if you're going to do that, you sure you want to do that? I mean, it's just, again, a good popcorn flick. You can't deny that Tom Hardy is good at talking to himself as Venom and Eddie Brock. Way better, sorry, Topher Grace, but way better than they tried to do in Spider-Man 3. I don't know what that was. Sorry. Although Toby is still my Spider-Man. Anyhow, Venom, please enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy Venom and enjoy Venom for what it is and stop trying to make it more than it is because that's going to frustrate you. Just enjoy what's on the screen in front of you with your popcorn, your soda, your candy, and with Tom Hardy. So, that's my revisit of Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I don't want to give any spoilers. There's no real need. I heard it's doing boffo numbers, which is great. It's good. It's a good movie. It's a good movie you can take the kids to. Although, I will say this. I do think, as a parent, there are some scenes. I'm not even talking about the language, because most of the language in there, I'm sure your kids have heard you say, unfortunately. But there are some scenes that I thought were just a little bit on the inappropriate side for kids. So you may want to talk to your little ones and say, hey, you know what? We're going to go see a comic book movie, but there might be some things that I wouldn't do if I were you, and you know that I don't do. This is definitely a comic book movie. And, leave it on the screen, what they see. I'm sure they've seen things before, too, on other films or whatever. And, but you just gotta, make your place known as the parent and that you're looking out for them. All right. Enjoy the movie, guys. Please feel free to comment after you've seen the movie and let me know if you did or you did not like it. It is playing in theaters only right now. I do believe it will be there for however many days, and then it will go to, they don't say pay-per-view anymore, do they? Pay-per-view. It will go to pay-per-view. So, enjoy Venom, guys. I'm the Clapper Loader, and there are no films without me. Or without me, there are no films.